All right, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to graph this data. So hopefully you have a data table that looks like this. If you don't know how we got the average, you just add these two together and then divide by 2. So for example, 43 plus 50 gets me 93. 93 divided by 2 gets me 46.5. So that's how I got my average positions. So to graph, I'm just going to do a copy paste. You'll see why. Okay, so to graph, we got to look at the directions. So put time on the x-axis. So I go down here, my x-axis is the side to side. So I'm going to write time, and then my units of time are seconds. All right. And it says put average position on the y. So I'm going to write average position, and then my units. Check my table. My units were centimeters. All right. Okay, we need a title, and it says Y versus X style. So I got to do my Y label first and then my X label. So my title, my Y label, it's going to be average position versus, and then my X label, time. All right, so now I'm going to paste my data table. It's just that way it gets easier to graph. Okay, so time is my X. So that means all of these numbers here, this is my X, and then average position is my Y, so that is my Y. So all this red stuff, these numbers go on the X, and then this green, all these numbers go on the Y. So you see my X goes up to 12, so I got to check what can I count up by to go to 12. And actually, if I just count each box by 1, then I can easily get up to 12. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my scale. I'm going to zoom in here like that. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's as far as I need to go. My position goes up to 221. So I gotta think, what do I can count up by to go up to 221? And I'm just gonna tell you, I just go by tens. That's easy. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. See, I'm not labeling every square because I know what I'm counting by. 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250. And that's as high as I need to go. So there, got my labels, I got my scale. Now I need a graph. So this first one, it's the plot 0, 0. So 0 on the X, right there. 0 on the Y, right there. So I put a dot right there. And these don't need to be exact, so don't worry if it's exactly right. I just want it to look close enough. All right, so the next one, I have 2 and 46.5. So there's 2. 46.5, that's like right between there. So they meet up, and I put a dot right about there. Okay, next one, 4 and 78.5. So there's 4. There's 4. 78.5, well, it's kind of like right here. It's close to 80, but not quite. So where these two meet, I'm going to put a dot right about there. and then 6 and 117. So there's 6, 117. Let's see, 110, 120. So it's like closer to 120. So where these two meet up, then I put a dot there. And then 8 and 154. So there's 8. There's 150. That, remember, this is 160. So it's like somewhere halfway there. So I draw that dot where those two meet up, like right there. 10 and 188.5. So there's 10. Let's see, 160, 170, 180, and 190. So 188.5 is like close to 190, so it's right about there. So 10, follow my 10 line up, all the way up to about right there. Come on, stylus. I'm trying to make a dot. Oh, I'll just use my finger. There. Okay, and one more. 12 and 221. So there's 12, and then there's 210, 211, 210, 200, 210, 220. So it's like 221 is about right above there. So follow my 12 up, put a dot right about there. Nope, right there. No, don't paste. There we go, good enough. And then once I have all my dots, I just try to draw a straight line through them all. If I hold down my pen, then I can make a straight line like that, but I don't like how that looks. So I'm going to move it. Oh, well, I'm just going to draw it again. So just try to draw as straight a line as possible through all your points. There we go. That looks okay. In fact, let me make this line a bit more obvious. There you go. So something like that. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is just good enough. So then you do the same for car 2. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to copy car 2 to table. Oops, nope, don't want that. Paste image. There we go. And then I'll choose a different color, green, and then do the same thing. This goes on the X, that goes on the Y. Do your points just like the first one. Draw a new straight line. So your new straight line will probably look something like that. And then do the same thing for car 3. And that's it. Let me know if you have any other questions.